Hey there guys, it's Joe. Today I'm going to show you how to do the complete oil change on a vehicle start to finish. Most of my videos are just oil and filter and explain how to fill the oil. But this is for the person that doesn't, wants to learn how. First off, you get your engine oil cap right here. You take that off. So make sure you have, I've started off with jacking it up. I recommend jack stands. You see on the other side, that is what I have. Holding it up, slightly off the ground. Ramps are better. And this is just a standard oil change on a Chevy pickup truck, which is pretty, common vehicle. So what I have, make sure you have the right filter and the right oil. That's one thing. For this particular vehicle, it's just a 50mm wrench, and I'll need the strap wrench to get the filter off. I have a funnel for filling the engine up, and just a nice light besides the one I have on the camera, just so I can see underneath. And of course, I have a bigger oil pan. Don't let this drain on the ground, and make sure you always recycle your oil. So we're going to go underneath with the strap wrench and the filter. Like I said, this is start to finish. So we're going to go up to the engine here. Let's see, the drain plug and the filter. So this is your standard oil filter. Make sure you're not pulling the transmission drain plug. Look for the engine. Transmission will usually have a drive shaft coming out of it on the front. This one's leaking currently. Here you go. And with all my oil changes, I just usually attack the filter. So we're going to go like this, and you want to make sure you're loosening the filter. So if I cranked it like this, I'd be actually tightening it. So you got to flip it around, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. These frame filters usually have a nice grip on them. So you spun it free. Oil's going to start leaking. Spin it off a little bit, and you'll see it start to come down. You just let that drain into your oil pan, your oil catch pan. Now, one thing I forgot is to grab my rags. I'll pull it on the slide out the side of the vehicle. I'm going to get the other light and the wrench. Always make sure you have some rags laying around, stuff like that. I'm going to grab the other flashlight and go back underneath. So you see the oil filter's draining. Gotta set the light up there so you get a little more sensitivity here. Okay. You got the light. I'm gonna grab a rag and start spinning the oil filter off all the way. Spin it off, it's going to drain some oil out of it. And you always want to make sure that your gasket has come off. So you look up there, it's not on there. A little rubber gasket in the bottom of the oil filter. Now if you look up, here, you'll see that there's a little bit of oil residue. Now, I'm going to take the new oil filter out. And kind of lube up this gasket. You can use drain oil, you can use new oil, it's all up to you. Does not matter. I just use drain oil because it's right here, right now. Now these things, you just spin them on. You gotta get them tight. So once you seal the seal against the aluminum part, most of them are aluminum, some are iron on the block. You're just gonna tighten it down. So what you do, gotta get it seated, and you want to try to do 1/4 to 3/4 of a turn. Some other filters will say differently. You don't want to use a wrench or a strap wrench or anything to tighten it down. These things are supposed to be hand tight. If you don't have the strength to tighten it down, bad wrist, something like that, you can kind of just grip it, and I'm going to call that good. You can use a strap wrench, but just don't overdo it. Just give it a little snug. That's all you need. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to go for the drain plug. So, I use these longer service wrenches. I can usually get them loose by one hand. Basically, I mean, you can tap it with a hammer. Don't overdo it. You can use a socket with a longer wrench, or you can dip your wrench completely in oil. Whatever you feel like doing. So I just kind of hit mine, get the drain plug loose. And you're going to want to get out of the way for the oil, because it's coming. We got that. And these Chevys kind of shoot kind of far. I'm going to switch hands right now. The filter. See that? Slowly turn the drain plug out. Normally they shoot a lot farther, and this one seems a little bit low. Sorry, I'm gonna get you back up in there. It's also a little cold, so let this drain down. Let it drain down. Like I said, this one's cold. It's going to drain out kind of slow. See, it's kind of hitting the skid plate, so we're going to have to clean that off. Like I said, start to finish, I'm just going to show you how long I let it drain. Everything else. You can always check out other things while you're down here, like you see this oil leak, and stuff like that. You got other videos on greasing joints, stuff like that. You can rotate your tires. Just got your drain plug here. Make sure this rubber gasket is still on there. If you got a crush washer, make sure you replace that. Stuff like that. So you've pretty much got nothing draining. You can stop it pretty much with the drain plug. I'll go a little bit farther. And we'll call that good. Tighten it down. And I do recommend torquing drain plugs. I've been doing this a long time. The reason they recommend torquing is so people don't overdo it and over tighten. Basically, this one's already got some oil leaks on it, so I'm just going to kind of wipe it off. Normally I'd spray brake cleaner and get it all clean. But like I said, don't find it necessary in this one. Don't clean up somebody else's mess. That's my policy. So if I want to tell them about the oil leak, or when I tell them about the oil leak, they're not looking at what I did. So I just wiped down what I did. Okay. So now, after you're at this point, you're done with underneath the car. So what I'm going to do, get my light out of here. That way. Rig, the strap wrench, everything out here. One last check. Gonna make sure that filter's tight. Got a little bit more of a turn out of it. Like I said, we're gonna call that good. There's that. So the rig's out. We're gonna call that part 1 of this video.